Welcome to another Beacon demonstration video. Today I'll be taking you through the workflow of how the goods received works. That is taking your order that you've created in Beacon, the purchase order, and then converting it to a supplier tax invoice using our goods received process. So before we start this video, I recommend going and watching our previous videos on ordering and supplier tax invoices, because this will build upon what you've already seen there. So by doing this goods received process, it's a lot quicker to convert an order to an invoice, and the process allows for alteration along the way. So if there are items that get short delivered or oversupplied, then you can make those adjustments and the Beacon system will show you visually the difference. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead to my ordering, so up to data entry and then down to ordering. So this is an order I've already pre-created there, and I'll show you when I open it up. I have 5 line items there for Coca-Cola, the supplier. So for each of these items, I've just done 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 quantities each, just to visually show you the difference. So with that there, I'm going to now go ahead and say that's my purchase order, I've created it. Now what I'm going to do from here, I can optionally send the order like I would have normally when I'm ready to send it off to the supplier. Or alternatively, I can go straight to the goods received process. So this is where the actual goods have arrived and you're now ready to tell the system that you've received them. So I select the order and I press goods received, and it comes up like so. You can see up the top we're still on the ordering entry screen, but now if I was to say the second item in my list here was perhaps short ordered, let's say, for example. So let's say instead of 20 units I received 19. If I type that in, you'll see up the top there's a color legend that's appeared there, and it visualized in orange indicates that the 19 units I've received is actually less than the 20 units I ordered as my quantity. Same with the next item down. If I was to say instead of 30 units, I actually received one more. The supplier oversupplied me. I say I've got 31 units. If I go down, you can see that is also visualized in green to depict that we've received 31 units, which is more or greater than the ordered quantity value of 30. So let's say that was my order. Now I'm going to go ahead and just complete my order by pressing OK. So now what it's done, using goods received, it's converted the order to a supplier tax invoice. So it's moved it from the ordering module to supplier tax invoices. Now, if I was to go ahead and bring that supplier tax invoice up on the screen, you can see it still has my 2 colorations there to say that when I received the order in, they did differ from those values originally. But now you can also see there's a couple of other colors there on the right hand side. Now, this next scenario is slightly different. So let's say we've actually received a quantity that is less than what was actually originally invoiced. So in this case, if I said I was receiving 39 units despite being invoiced for 40, when I go down, you can see that depicts this next line in red. So it's less than I actually got invoiced for by my supplier. Likewise, if I was to say the very last line there, if I was to say I received more than what was invoiced, you can see it will depict it in this blue color. So the system does allow you to change the values, because sometimes there are situations where the supplier is short or items get damaged in transit, but now visually we colorize it to let you know. And you've also just seen I've been using the short keys of just using the mouse and clicking on the quantity field that I want, and I can actually alter the value rather than the traditional way of how we used to double click on an item and enter it, which you still can do, and it will still colorize the item that way too. But either which way, whichever is more convenient for you, that's the process there. So once you've actually ready to complete your goods receiving, I'm going to go ahead and give it an invoice number, and we're just going to go ahead and press OK. So now up the top is my supplier tax invoice of goods received, and I'm going to select it and I'm going to complete it. Like usual, it will come up and it will ask if you want to make any further alterations. That's fine. I don't want to make any further changes, so I'm just going to press OK. And it asks if I want to print an audit trail like usual. That's fine, I'll say yes to that. And there we go, on the screen, like usual, there's our tax invoice. But we've converted an order using goods received to an invoice, and we've also made those additional adjustments along the way, and that's good to go. And one final thing also I'd like to demonstrate is our new backorder function we have with goods receiving. So now we have this new backorder function that you can ask Beacon support to enable, and what will happen is if you have a quantity that is less than what was ordered originally, it will automatically request that if you would like to produce a purchase order for the amount that you didn't receive. If I select this order that I've created here and I go goods received, and I enter in a value less than what I originally ordered. So if I say 20, and then I also have a discrepancy down the bottom there of how much to be allocated. Now I can either press calc total to recalc it, or I could just press OK and it would prompt me if I wanted to recalc it. But what you see is now there's this prompt that comes up and says, do you wish to create a back order for the items which have not been fully received? So I'm going to say yes to that. So it would now take my order and goods receive it into the Supplier Tax Invoices module. But back on the ordering screen, I now have another order that was created for the 4 quantities that were never received. So they've now become back ordered. And that is the simplicity of the workflow between Supplier Tax Invoices, goods received, and ordering, as well as our new back order function. Thanks for watching our video on the goods received workflow. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@beaconsoftware.com.au.